YouTube, welcome back to Acoustic Corner. Been a while since I was in Acoustic Corner. Well, I'm really just standing in the same place, as you can probably see, because where the amps are. That's a slightly different angle, I'm sitting down. So a Bucky Acoustic. This is the first Bucky Acoustic. There is one out there, which was a Fender, a snapped headstock that I repaired. I painted the headstock yellow and stuck a Bucky label on it. So that is, I suppose, technically the first ever Bucky Acoustic, but this one I painted green and stuck a label on the headstock. So this is a bowlback ovation style. I won't bother showing you the back of it because I've not actually cleaned that yet. You know, you would think that I would have cleaned it before I painted it. I cleaned the front. I just didn't bother cleaning the back. It needs a bit of a scrub. A little bit dusty. It's been sitting in the attic for a while. Yeah. So notice anything weird about it? It's like. Yeah, so it's a 7-string. I copied this idea off Roger McGuinn from The Byrds, which I saw a documentary of years ago where he had an acoustic where he had like a doubled up string. I did have this before. If you look back at my videos a few years ago, I did the wrong string. I did the D string. So this time I've done the G, which seems to work a little bit better. It just basically means that when you're battering, you can just play it like a normal guitar, but it's got a bit more jangle to it. Not played acoustic for ages. But if you did want to put it back to being the D string, that's easily done. What I did was on the headstock, the way I got around it was, see how this tuner here, it goes round a roller just after where it says Buckfast, which is actually the ball end of a bass string with a screw through the middle of it, so that it would so it reaches the nut nice and easy. There is a slot on the D string as well, so if you wanted to double the D instead, I was going to say you could double both, but then you need another tuner, so you can move it to the D string pretty easily. There's a slot there and there's a slot here, so it's just a case of fitting it in. So this is an electro acoustic. Again, I should have cleaned the back of it before I did this video, but I didn't. So this might not be going up for sale because there's a guy who's been badgering me about it for a while. He likes these bowlback acoustics. Sound wise and stuff, they're great. It's just that a lot of people don't like it because they find the rotate. Actually, it doesn't really. It's more of a you know, what you view, what you think of it before you pick it up, rather than actually when you start playing it. That affects it. It just gives everyone a little bit more of a jangle. And I do have it actually plugged into the amp because I was going to put a wee chord track down there. I might rack played something in D, because then I could use the D string an awful lot more. I'm trying to use the D string though with a lead here, just to use the double string. Through the amp, you can't see it just by my guitar arm, so it's not perfect for this sort of thing, but so I don't really know what to call this as a Bucky acoustic. Should I make it an official Bucky guitar? Or should I, even then, it's a 7-string acoustic, but if I tried looking up 7-string acoustic, and what the 7-string acoustic is what you would expect. You know, it's like 6 normal strings and a low B. So this does have 7 strings, but I don't really know what to call it. An octave G guitar, maybe. So it's like, I don't know, but it's a nice idea. It makes things a little bit different, but it doesn't have the hassles of having a 12-stringer, basically, because a 12-stringer, if you've ever had one, I've got one, it just takes forever to tune. It's like, you know, just because there's 12 strings to do. This one, you've got an extra string. That's kind of it. If you didn't want that, you just take it off and it would just be a normal guitar. But it doesn't really hamper you very much, and it's not really like you're going to be playing that much bendy. Well, maybe a wee bit of bendy lead on the. It's not a bad version of Mr. Tambourine Man you can get with it. So, I had an interesting meeting today in town. I'm not sure any more Bucky casters will be going for sale direct. The guy I bought the El Dorado caster off me, so if you want to see that, it's in the Savoy Centre. I think the shop was called Blitzkrieg, but I'll have to check that. That was what was written on the guy's face mask. I should really have asked him what the shop was called. Really cool shop, sells records, and it's got a couple of guitars in it I kind of want, which is really quite annoying. But that might be like the official outlet of Mad Malco guitars, possibly. I don't know. Just, you know, or maybe just the Bucky guitars might just be an interesting wee thing. He's got one on his wall. He didn't buy it off me. It's obviously cycled through someone else. I think it was number number 18, something like that. So, and apparently it, like, folk keep going in and talking about it, and I've got a picture from the guy from Las Vegas, which is a band that I'd never heard of. Well, I've heard the name, but I mean, I don't listen to music that's modern apart from baby metal. That's the one band I like from the 2000s onwards, sort of thing. So, well, not like, just the one I listen to. I just listen to old records most of the time, you know, Sabbath, stuff like that. And they've got their debut album went platinum, and I looked up Wikipedia and there's a picture of him playing it. So, and he was pure raving about it. So it's like, this might go somewhere. Yeah, so it's worthwhile going into that wee shop. I wish I could remember the name of it. I might put it in the description if I remember. After I think, the more I think about it, I think Blitzkrieg was actually just what was written on his mask rather than the shop actually being called that. It was right in the back of my head what it was called. But it's well worth going in and have a look. He's doing like interesting guitars. He's got like sort of a few old 80s Ibanez. He's got an amazing looking Japanese Yamaha BB bass. If you're after one of them, this is the nicest one I've seen. The BB, the one Billy Sheehan model he plays, so it's got like a PJ set up, and it's Japanese, and it's sort of pearl white. It's lovely. And things like that. He's got kind of more guitars that I would like. You know, you don't go in there and it's, I don't know, maybe he does have Strats and stuff, but I didn't look at them. So, you know, he's talking about, you know, mid pricey, but much better than what you get now. You know, what would now be entry level guitars. So there might be a wee bit of a deal going on there for me. I might also be able to fix guitars from there as well. It's like it didn't seem to be super. I think maybe someone else that does that. I was like, any electrical work, you know? I was like, I could maybe sort them out. I've got a couple of guitars that I can't remember what they're. One of them's a wee Peavey that's got the electrics don't work. It's like, I totally can fix that. So trying to get these good books by fixing that and doing it really cheap. So this is, will either be going for sale in that shop if the wee guy who's been badgering me saying he wanted a Bucky acoustic, and I said, well, I don't really have any acoustics. The only one I've got is the one that I did years ago, and I was always a bit annoyed that I put the string on the wrong thing. To get the extra string, by the way, you just use a top high E. I bought a set of electric strings, and sometimes you get two high E's. Well, the extra one you just use a high E and tune it to G, and it's great. It's the right size. So these are 12s. So if you put 12s on, then in a 12 string set, that's what the octave G string is anyway. It's also got cool fret markings, sort of snowflake shaped fret markings on this. I believe this was a Stag at one point. It used to be my boat guitar, which sounds really bad, but I mean I had it out in the boat three times. I think I used it that year, and then it basically went in the attic and stayed there ever since. But it's pretty good. I like it. Yeah, so probably not for sale here, but you might see it if you go into the Savoy Centre next week or whatever. Depends whether it's I keep calling him a wee guy. I don't think he's very wee. If the chap who was just messing out, I don't think he was. I think he'd probably buy it. So that's why I've not been doing videos the last couple of days. I've been building bucky casters as a preempt. Well, before I knew this guy had his shop and stuff. I've actually got a bucky bass on the way and a bucky guitar. Which I'll probably just sell in there. Might be quite interesting. Gives you a chance to try them out. Because I think it's really always surprising about these things. Whenever I sell a bucky caster, you know, I'm selling them for like, you know, 100 quid, something like that, or a bit more than that. And everyone's always really surprised that they play really well. And it's like, because you're buying them sort of sight unseen, obviously they've got a video, so you know it plays. But they're all, you know, they are properly set up. And I don't let guitars go that aren't good. you know, ones I would gig with myself. This is sounding better the more I play it. Partly me probably just getting used to playing acoustic again, but I think because it's been cinematic for years, it just kind of, when a guitar gets dead dusty and stuff, it just kind of dies a little bit. You know, once if you batter it for half an hour, you know, things start vibrating and everything just tightens up and gets used to being a guitar again. And starts to sing, which is what this is doing. So basically, what I'm going to do is now is get a sponge and wipe some of the, like, literally dirt off the back. I'm pretty sure these are not see, it's not scratches, it's actual dirt from my attic. Oh, 16 minutes. That was too long. Rock on!